big Dookie chain with a couple of legends in the studio. I'm Van Styles and Tash, but I'm not talking about us two. I'm talking about you two. So we got Termanology and Tek.
Appreciate you guys, man.
Appreciate you guys coming out here.
Yeah, it's love, man. We're happy to be here.
And we have Hush behind the cameras holding us down.
All right.
But you have a new album out. Let's talk about this. Technology. Thank you for bringing the hard copies through. It looks very dope.
Thank you, man.
Who did the cover?
DZ, man. Shout out to DZ. Creative mind. We give him some ideas and we let him just, take over from there, and he goes crazy, man.
He runs wild.
He goes wild, as you can see.
So when did you two first link? I'm sure it's been a long time now.
More than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
How'd you guys even meet?
Just being in the same circles. I used to run around with Sean P a lot. He was running around with Static a lot. We end up in the same studios. We end up doing the same shows and tours. I got Still on my mixtape with Jay Dilla in 2009. He went and got on Freeway's album in 2010 with Static. So we just always in the same rooms together, and it just show off and boot camp just kind of became family.
I remember them years like that.
Yeah, I remember it all more because I was up and coming. He was already established, but just Show Off Records linking with Duck Down really made a marriage of like the boot camp and the ST and the Duck Down family.
But speaking of remembering those years, so in like 2007, you, Steele, I think it was the guys from OGC came through, Beat Miners. We had everybody at undergroundhiphop.com down on Huntington Ave by the Prudential Center in downtown Boston. And I think that is the most blunt smoke that undergroundhiphop.com had ever had. Like, you couldn't see in there. It was amazing, though.
Those was the really good cypher days with the chocolate weed and everything.
Right. And it's like, talk about not remembering things. Now, I've partied a bit with Termanology, and I've actually, same thing with you and Steele before, like we've gotten tore up.
Oh yeah.
So the fact they're able to remember anything is just insane.
Yeah, man, been doing it for a long time. Tech been in his 30, I've been in it 20, so this shit is all a blur, but we're happy to be here, man.
Oh, and I gotta ask, how is Buckshot doing?
Buckshot is doing great. Thanks you for all the people that reached out, that was checking on him. He's good.
Okay, that's good.
Great spirits. Actually just had a 50th birthday at SOB's. That was tough.
Nice. Yeah. See, that's the craziest thing. You guys have birthday parties in New York, and it's like everyone in the industry is there.
Yep.
I get so jealous.
Come to New York.
All I do is just
right down the street.
Yeah,
we
you're
just
right.
Go from New York to you.
Hey, man, that Fung Walk can take 5 hours sometimes.
Yeah. Or if you drive here on a Friday, it's 5 hours.
Yeah.
But we here.
Yeah, you're still here. So doing this actual album, though, when did you guys first start working on it?
That's crazy. We was just talking about this, right? Like
about a year and a half ago, maybe.
Didn't we say like 5 joints?
No, we talked about it about 5 years ago, but then the pandemic happened, all that. So the process was about a year and a half,
it took
maybe
about
2.
a cool year and a half.
Yeah.
And when did you decide you were going to call it Technology?
I think that was the first
we
joint
knew.
we came up with.
Yeah, we knew.
You're like, we got to do
We had
this
the name
album.
first.
Yeah.
Whose name came up with
I don't
the name?
remember.
I think we both came up at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know how we came up with
We was
it.
talking about making an album. It was like, Technology, that'd be crazy.
Because it really fits. It's like perfect.
Yeah, the name is already a Technology.
Yeah.
And I gotta ask, on the title track Technology, I gotta get right into this. Super hip hop fan, you can tell, right? I gotta ask you. You talk about One Nation album on the track. What can you tell us about One Nation album? Because, man, that's like, as a hip-hop head, right, that's like one of those mythical, like, Noah's Ark, like, covenant.
That's Bigfoot.
Yeah, it's like Bigfoot. Like, you heard it existed, but, like, as a hip-hop head, you want it.
Right. How much actually existed of this album?
It is definitely a real body of work. I mean, salute to all the artists that was up on it. They really put they foot into it. I want to say it was probably about 12 joints, but it's been going through so much ever since, he transitioned. And first I heard Suge had it, then I heard Mama Afeni had it, rest in peace. So you never
is it
know.
like a done piece of a done album?
It's an actual album. It's not a Yeti. It's an actual album.
No, because I mean, on the Machiavelli bootleg albums, like the tracks would come out here and there. You know, Teardrops and Closed
but those were
Casket,
some
Blood
of
for
the
the
remix
President.
joints that was
Tech, can you bring your
that was
mic a
coming
little bit
around
closer?
from what the original joints was. So those was like the remix versions of
they're taking
what
the
was
vocals
actually
On the
like
bootleg
recorded.
Machiavelli tapes?
Yeah. So
Okay, because I know that they came out like later on like official Tupac albums, but those were like remixes of the bootleg.
Those are remixes of the remixes that was bootlegged.
Okay.
Damn.
Right.
I never even heard that.
Right. Does it hurt you just to hear those, though? When people
I mean, No, it didn't hurt. It felt good to hear the music out.
No, I know, but it's gone through so many iterations. You're getting a bootleg of a bootleg, and you're like, there was a real thing in the studio. We did this.
Yeah, so that's something that I'll keep with me, that we'll keep with us.
Yeah.
That we'll,
And where were those sessions? Because you guys had to meet.
Yeah, those
together.
was in L.A.
Yeah, they were
We
in the
flew
Death
out
Row
to
Studios.
LA. Yeah.
Any cool stories from those sessions?
Yeah.
Memorable.
Are the studios, were they all red? Was that true? Or did I just make that up in my head?
Yeah, you smoking too much.
Okay.
You don't smoke.
I don't even smoke. I come up with this just not even. I don't know.
The studio sessions was really dope, man. Like, because Pac's work ethic was insane. Like, he would be working on 2 movies at a time, and from one movie set he'd go to the next set, then he'd come to the studio, and then from there he'll go back to the sets. And we was just, riding around and being around and all that work and seeing it. Studio was so crazy. Like, one time I walked out and got lost in a room where it was just all Pac material, and that's when I knew I was like, all right, I gotta stop bullshitting. Like, this.
What
year was this again?
There you go with the years.
I know.
I don't even know to tell you. The
This
truth.
was after The Shining. It was.
Yeah, this was
It was after Cocoa Brothers.
Yeah.
But he
Rude
died in
Awakening.
'96,
Yeah,
so
this
it
is
was a
definitely
1 year
Yeah,
period
so
from
it wasn't
The
that
Shining
long.
in '96.
Right, so I'm not
had
totally
to be
crazy.
95 or '96
Yeah, yeah.
he died in '96. So
And
So
was
it had to be like around the beginning of '96.
was Suge there for any of those sessions?
Nah, never met Suge.
You never met him, okay.
Never met Suge.
So when you say that Pac's work ethic was crazy, I would hear that he'd be like working on one song and then pop into the other studio, be working on another song.
Absolutely.
That's
But
fire.
Did you get time to chill though and like smoke and like chat?
Yeah, we was out there for a minute. We stayed
Okay.
at the crib. He would come into my room, wake me up at like 4:30 in the morning when we didn't go to the sets with bulletproof vests and new big joints to go out and play. Like, yo, Tek, come on, let's go shoot. I'm like, yo, Pac, man,
What?
Go to fuck the bed, man. It's too early
Wait,
in the morning. We've been up
This
all
is
day.
The middle of the East and West bullshit too. When it's
Dead
like
in
no,
the middle.
yeah,
Dead in the
dead in the middle of it. Because I know the whole time people always say like, nah, boot camp's out there. Woo's out there. They're doing it. Like,
nah, this was dead in the middle.
Wait,
man.
he would have you get suited up in bulletproof vests?
He wouldn't have me get suited up. He would be so
Send in a
anxious. And no, like, all right, so we're staying in a mansion on the hills. Whatever room I would be sleeping in, he'll find me. He was a Gemini, like I'm a Gemini. Big as a Gemini. And it was just something about a Gemini-ness. And he would find me with his new toys and bulletproof vests and be like, yo, let's do this. Let's go shoot. I'm like, yo, Pac, man, we just left the studio again. He like, I know, I was with you. Let's go. This shit just came.
That's ill.
When you say new toys, he didn't shoot up any couches like he did with the Outlaws while you were there, or did he?
Nah.
Okay.
The only thing we was shooting up in the house with couches was the water guns.
Okay. Fair enough.
He would stop the game, be like, yo, don't wet the windows. You can't wet the windows.
Yo, that's wild.
why can't you wet the windows?
Because he had to pay somebody to clean them, I guess. I don't know.
But the couches weren't off limit.
Everything else was, yeah.
Fuck it.
Oh, you brought up the Gemini thing, but I want to give a shout out to anyone on the cusp of Sag and Scorpio because it is my birthday tonight.
Tonight?
Happy
Tonight.
birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday,
P,
bro.
you a Scorpio?
Hey man, I'm just bringing it up.
I'm a Scorpio.
Hey, man.
Okay.
That's what's up.
It slipped out. It slipped out.
Happy birthday, man.
Thank you.
Happy
Thank
birthday,
you.
brother.
I love doing cool stuff on my birthday.
I like
Yeah, this is
attire.
awesome.
It
you
fits.
know. Well, is it too much?
Nah, it's
I got
great.
the boot
I peeped
camp
the
and
hat,
the duck down
chain,
hat.
Hey, you
Yeah.
the
representing, man.
Dookie chain.
Because in white people world, we had that movie where they were like, you never wear the shirt to the show.
Yeah.
Word?
Yeah, which movie was
What
that?
movie?
I
that?
don't know what movie it is.
Nah, if you're a fan, you better tell somebody you're a fan. Don't wait till
Said
they
you can't
gone.
wear the shirt.
Yeah,
Don't
they're
wait
like,
till they
that is
gone
the
to tell them
unwritten
you're a
rule. You cannot wear the shirt to the show.
That's funny.
And
That's like
crazy.
that's almost like I guess we got a rule like that. You can't wear Nikes with Adidas sweats.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
that's a different rule.
Oh,
man.
and
the kids these days do
That's a
that shit.
universal.
Yeah, now,
Like, it's a
yeah,
thing.
that-
Yeah,
that's
now
out the door.
they'd be Puma socks, Nikes, Adidas hat. all of that.
Right.
Before we had it, you couldn't wear fatigues with sneakers. Now all that shit has changed.
Yeah.
Well, and when I showed
Well,
up
I mean,
here, he was
yeah,
not
that
in
changed for
fatigues.
sure.
So he got ready. He got outfitted.
Now you
It's
can.
forced though.
Yeah.
It's bred forced.
Nah.
Well, and I think I heard the fatigues came from like your uncle who was in the military.
My
or
brother,
Your
rest
brother.
in peace, David. Which is so crazy. You brought that up. I just checked my number slip. I just told you.
Crazy.
Oh man, it's. Come on, let's go.
Wait, your number slip?
He gambles sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Play the numbers.
Yeah,
That's my
I got
brother,
you.
though. Yes, Drill Sergeant David McKinley Williams, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Was he around when you were making a lot of the music?
Yeah, he was around. All
Okay.
the fatigues was actual fatigues that was coming from the base that he would bring back, that he was wearing.
That's fire.
All the hats. So
Oh shit, this is authentic through and through. Were you ever considering joining?
I did at one time to escape, but once they came back, they were like, "Yo, do you smoke?" I was like, not really. They was like, "Yo, we found copious amounts of this in your system."
Really?
So
I was gonna say they got tested.
yeah. By that time, I was already. My mind was made up. I wasn't going no more.
Right.
Well,
Go.
now we were talking about. I wanted to bring Term into the conversation because we're talking about Pac's work ethic, right? And Term is someone around here that's just known for someone who your work ethic is crazy.
You and Static Selecta.
So
actually.
yeah, Static is the other person. It's like
of us,
just
yeah.
just
the
crazy,
hardest
crazy,
workers
crazy.
out of Massachusetts.
So like, do you see any like? I know that the styles are different and anything, like, but the work ethics are anything. Do you see anything similar like that? Because I mean, Chris Ferrone told me like the day he met you.
Yeah.
Chris Ferrone is like the big writer from around here. You know, he told me the day he met you, he knew you were gonna make it.
Yeah.
He knew it the day he met you. He said he came into your house to do an interview.
Yeah.
And he said he knew it the day he walked into your house. He said the second he walked in there, on this show, he said
Yeah.
that he knew you were
Yeah.
gonna make it that day he walked
He
in
was
your
an
house.
early believer.
And I
He was
asked
an
him
early
why,
believer.
and he said there was no plan B.
Yeah.
Because I could tell with this man there was no plan B.
Term is a
it was it.
workaholic. You on what, 51st album?
53rd.
Yeah. So what?
This is number
what-
53.
That's 53, yeah.
Okay.
And I produced 2, so it's 55 of them, but who's gonna...
So think about it. That's a lot. Like, what drives that?
The thing is, bro, that like I can't live without doing music. That's just what it is. So it also is, one, it's a career and a job, and then 2, I'm just in a routine of making music like every single day. And if I'm not making it every day, I made so much already that it's still coming out every day. For instance, at midnight, I had 3 songs come out last night. I had our new single come out, Boom Bap or Die, which we probably did 6 months ago, whatever.
Yep.
Came out yesterday. Then I had 2 songs on Peter Guns and CL Smooth album come out
Dope.
last night, and I produced those, which those are probably 6 months old or a year old, whatever. So we do so much music that it's always coming out. And I got like 10 albums done right now, maybe 15, and they just
In the-
all
in the book?
done.
Done.
They just can't all come out at the same time.
See,
know,
that,
So you never had writer's block? Is this?
I get writer's block all the time, but I wrote so much that I never have to write a rhyme again, and I can still drop 20 albums because there's so much rhymes out there.
Is it do you have these in like a book or where, or are they
Nah,
on a
they're
computer on your
scattered
phone?
everywhere. Like I have multiple books from like when I started, like high school and all that. I still have a lot of those. And then once we transferred over to the phone, because it's just easier now, it's faster.
Yeah.
Like you know, a lot of the rhymes are on the phone, so there's no physical evidence of the rhyme.
Well, this is a question for both of you. Is there like any body of work or songs, if not full bodies of work, that have been like lost in
Always.
these long? I know,
Always.
right?
Yeah.
My song with Guru, I did a song with Guru, and there's only one copy of
Oh,
it,
shit.
Oh,
and they
man.
lost the CD. I was in the studio with Guru. You know what I'm saying? So it's just shit like that, you know, happens over time, and
Yeah.
there's nothing nobody got a copy of it. And
Well, we know,
You know?
the Tupac Smith and
got
Wesson
an album with Clash.
yeah.
I was in L.A. one time, and I had my guy Russell Peters range, and they broke into that and stole my whole rhyme pad in L.A. So
That's another thing.
It's a whole album
Right.
out there. For,
Yeah, another thing
Yes.
happened to me one time. I had this one laptop for like almost 10 years. It was old. It wasn't even a laptop I used, but I had kept all my music on it. And I had a party in my house, and somebody spilled a whole mimosa in the computer, and the music was not recoverable. So
Oh,
like I
man.
can't even, some of the shit I can't even speak on, like ghostwriting and shit. All like I had hundreds of files that I don't even remember what I lost because there was so much in there. You know what I'm saying? So much shit, insane amounts of work.
that's like one of those things though, but like for people that want to make it in any kind of medium, whether like, whatever the job is, not just hip hop, the fact of like putting out so much shit, always putting yourself in front, always putting out shit no matter what, like every day we put out like 15 pieces of content a day.
Fire.
Like every day, because like, and that's how we're growing so much.
Right.
But like I'm seeing the way you've been doing this. I mean, I did my first show in Boston was you were there. It was
Okay.
at Great Scott. We opened up for C. Ray Walls and shit.
Wow.
I remember that shit, but you were there.
Damn. So a long
and that
time
was a
ago.
long time ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you're still doing it.
For sure.
From then.
My second record deal, which is like almost my first record deal, was to Detonator, and C. Ray's was on that label.
And
so
he
he
still
was
locked up.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
he is, he is.
He was,
He is,
yeah.
yeah.
So he was a big artist when I wasn't even known yet. Like I was on my first like vinyl at that time. So I'm opening up for him and Acrobatic and all those guys. You know what I mean?
think you were on the show. I think you opened up
probably
with
but
us. Yeah,
so
yeah.
if the time you're talking about is 2003.
It was Great Scott. Yeah, yeah.
So that's 20
It was
years ago.
04, I think.
20 years ago.
Yeah, 04, 04, yeah.
Feel me?
Crazy. That's
crazy.
And there's only so many people still in the industry
Right.
from that time.
No doubt.
And it's the people that put out the most work.
Yeah, no
like
doubt.
Edo's still out here doing
Yeah.
it. Like you and Edo are like the staples of Boston that are consistently putting out quality work constantly.
Yeah, thank you, man.
You know what I'm saying? Constantly. Like
take
it's almost
pride in
every
it.
week.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
is every week.
It's like
for me,
the
it's
Term album.
definitely every week. Even if it's not an album, it's a video, it's a feature, it's a production, it's an episode of a pod. It's just something, you know.
Well, who's the production on this whole album, by the way?
We can just read it.
Yeah.
out,
We got
man. Go
multiple
crazy.
producers up there.
Of course, we got Static Selecta,
Always.
Minnesota Cartoon Beats, Jam, Neff,
Yep.
Knots, nice.
Crazy.
That's
Bolo,
the actual next single that's dropped.
Dom Dirty, who we were over with Static Selecta, he was over there at the.
Dom is my man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he just dropped a new album last night too. Yeah, man. I mean, we try to do a nice mixture of like legends, like Minnesota and Knots, and more up and coming guys like Jam and Element. Dom. So we try to give some of the new guys a shot, but then we come with the heavy hitters that got them platinum
some heat
plaques.
up
Yeah, you got
that.
Freeway on here.
Heat up there.
Paul
Yeah.
Wall on there. How'd you beat Paul Wall?
Paul Wall, I met through Static.
Such a nice guy.
Yeah, I mean Bun has been my man forever. I met Bun in 07, 08. We started doing music together, and me, him, and Static just got like a bond, us three, and then we just kind of added Paul to the cipher, and now it's like me and Paul got our 3-album run, and then Static and Bun got their 3-album run. So there's a nice little Boston to New York, Texas connection we got going with all of us. You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of dope. I mean, because like you're a generation kind of older than us. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like you're from my generation.
Yep.
So like we were listening to
Facts.
him. You
All
know what I'm
day.
saying?
Right.
So like it's kind of like at this point in time to be like having the heavyweights of the lyrical back when the lyrics mattered. Like
Yeah.
I know it's different now, whatever the fuck it is now. I can't speak on that shit. But like back when like this shit mattered.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like like the skill, the art, the craft was important, and the culture, all important. Those people giving you credit and like doing whole albums with you.
Yeah, no, it feels
It's fucking crazy,
It's
right?
still crazy
Yeah.
to me. Like I honestly blows my mind. Like sometimes I forget it because I'm so jaded because I did so much. But to really sit back and just think of only what I did yesterday is insane. I executive produced the album for CL Smooth and Peter Guns.
Damn.
Produced 2 songs on it.
Yeah, that's wild.
got my
Congratulations, man.
artist NMK to do vocals on it. Then I also dropped a song with Tek on a Knots beat, and this is just yesterday. But this is my life every day. So I'm so blessed, and I'm so like jaded because we just do cool shit every day. But I do sit back sometimes and be like, wow, I can't believe I just did that. Like, Paul Wall, I love Paul Wall, or Busta, or Primo, or whoever we're working
Yeah.
with today. You know what I'm saying?
And all those things you mentioned to add on to that, it still matters. It
Still does matter, right?
Especially to people that's creative and who holds the culture and the art of doing it dear to them. Like,
Of course.
Right.
all that, it still matters.
And now your
care.
stuff will
We
get
care.
analyzed on
That's-
Reddit.
right?
So,
So
in some ways, it
without
matters
that,
more.
we wouldn't be able to do what
We still
did.
care, bro. That's what it comes
No,
down
no,
to.
and I'll fight this shit to the death.
Same.
I take because I feel like hip hop. I'm still here because of hip hop. I was out of my
Absolutely.
house early. Shit got me through a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I am fucking hip hop. So when people like fuck with it, I take offense to it personally.
Right.
Personal
He really
offense.
does take a
No,
offense.
personal offense. to it,
We
you know?
all
As you
do.
should.
We all
You
do.
You gotta
I
protect
like it,
it.
but-
It's the
Yeah.
village protecting the baby.
Well, at the end
And that's
of
part of
day-
the reason we're doing this.
So what we're talking about at the end of the day, like just to be straight up with it, like I was listening to you like on the school bus in junior high school.
Yeah, same.
Like fighting kids because I'm
Yeah.
listening
I'm
to
not
rap
that
music.
old, dude.
Bro,
I'm not.
the Shining was 94. I graduated in 98.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, like you know what I'm saying? Like
That's all, Gucci.
I walk around town with the pound strapped down. I was singing that shit in Weymouth at 13 years old, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what
my-
I'm saying?
my
That
first
reached
demos too.
the
Yeah, and I was in the
Weymouth.
whitest suburb
right,
of
right.
You know what I'm
Connecticut.
saying?
Nah,
I reached it, and
that was dope.
and I know it all.
And
Yeah.
I have to just
That melody
say
right there.
I'm grateful and thankful for making that
You gotta-
that album because it kept Smif-N-Wessun in the game till now.
Almost
What-
every
yeah.
single day, almost every day, that melody goes through my head. in the street, gotta watch the beast, enemies, even your peeps. Like that goes through my every fucking day of my life.
We're raised off hip hop.
Yeah, but
You know what I'm
just,
saying? But
just looking at
to have you in the house, and I can ask you about that.
Yeah,
that's
which
hip
is
hop,
which is surreal.
Absolutely.
And I got to kind of blame you for getting me in kind of in trouble back then, because when I was in middle school,
Join the
when I was
gang.
in middle school, they were like, "You're such a wigger," this, that, and the
Wow.
other thing, and all that. Like you couldn't listen. You couldn't listen to rap and be white without people like going wild on you.
You couldn't.
You really couldn't.
I was like one. I mean, he's not from here. I'm from here, and in my high school, there was probably 6 black kids. You know what I'm saying? And I was definitely the only one listening to rap of like the white kids.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So
That's
it's like
crazy.
definitely an anomaly. Definitely caught all the bullshit.
Yeah.
Definitely all that shit.
See, but that's the power of music,
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
That's
Like,
that's the power.
in
and
the
great
whitest
thing about
suburbs
it.
of Connecticut, we were bumping The Shining.
but
Connecticut
now,
was a big state for boot camp.
Well, I saw, because you could see suddenly the black and white fatigues come out.
There you go.
Things changed.
Bingo.
I think that it's speaking on like bringing race into hip hop. I just think it's so cool now because I remember those times where it was like you can count how many white rappers there were that were that had credit. It was probably 3 or 4. Tops.
Three of them were the Beastie Boys.
Okay, so there was 5 or 6.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, I remember the time where it was like not okay for everybody to be in it.
Yeah.
And now I go to Korea and there's 3,000 people in the club that don't care about English rap. They got their own rap and they only speak Korean. So hip hop has transcended so much that it doesn't matter what color you are anymore.
On
The
Eminem
biggest rapper
latest
can be
album, he has a
anybody.
track that's in a different language with whatever his name
That's
is.
what I'm trying to say, bro. It don't matter no more. But
Yeah.
back in the days y'all talking about, I understand that. I remember that era where it was like you were weird if you stepped outside of your culture. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
but like,
Now it's everybody's culture is what I'm saying.
but what's
Yeah,
what's better
definitely.
though? Like the way I see that shit though is like, hip hop is that's rap music or whatever, or
Yeah.
like some form of like soft rock, hard rock, like whatever the fuck, all that classic rock, all that. That's some other shit. That's not hip hop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying you're not like rap music or whatever the fuck you want to be, or
Yeah.
it's black music or it's urban music or the
Yeah.
fuck it is. Cool, name whatever the fuck you want, but it ain't hip hop.
No, I just mean
You know
the
what I'm
race
saying?
side of it, just the diversity. Even the Olympics, you got
That's dope.
that's hip hop, right? Breakdancing. So you have every
Well,
country battling different countries
But
representing.
that what
hip-hop
was in
now.
the Olympics was not
No,
breaking.
not the Australian
shit
girl,
was.
not her. But I just mean like it's for everybody now. That's what I mean.
That was
There was someone
having
from Boston was in the
convulsions or
Olympics.
some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, something to breakdancing
But-
in the Olympics.
Real
But
shit.
speaking of crossing color lines, Brooklyn, like no album describes Brooklyn back in the 90s more than
Bucktown.
Yeah.
nothing. No album like we had Mobb Deep for Queens, we had you guys for Brooklyn, like we had MOP for Brownsville.
Right.
I mean,
Like,
not to cut you off. Go ahead, finish your
No, no.
question. I think as a hip hop artist, that's one of the biggest and dopest awards you can receive when you make a record and you rename your borough or you make a city or you name an anthem. Like
Facts.
MOP is super dope with
Yep.
that.
Scientific
So-
Lawtown.
Right.
My
When
mom
you
told me
get into
nobody called
those-
Lawrence Lawtown when she was a kid.
There you
But he
go.
made the song Lawtown and turned it into all of us calling it Lawtown, and the kids don't even know why they call it Lawtown. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't realize that was scientific.
Scientific. Even
Okay.
978. That was me and Easy and ST. We named it 978. Literally.
Shit.
It wasn't called the 978, so we did.
Dopeness.
So it's like, that's some legendary shit when you can make some
Yeah.
shit up and change the way people
And just rename
Call
the
it,
whole
like-
borough. The
Yeah,
whole
I mean,
town.
you
Bucktown,
have
right?
a borough,
Y'all are known for
most
naming it
populated
Bucktown.
city.
Yeah,
right? So
definitely.
That's crazy.
Yeah. How old were you when you did The Shining? I know. Here I am with another date question. but
We was just coming out of high school.
damn,
Crazy.
which is just so wild.
I
We
seen a
was just
video of you
coming out
the
of
other
high
day
school.
rapping. You look mad young.
Yeah.
All that shit that's going around.
The new
I
one?
hate that. I
I
hate
said it
that
to you,
post
remember?
too, man.
I said, look at you.
That's why I never reposted it. I
You
hate
had to be
that
20
shit.
in that shit.
I was
21.
probably 18, 19,
wow.
maybe.
And I always think of Tek when we just had the Tyson Jake Paul fight or whatever it was.
Tattoo?
Yeah, the face tattoo. I immediately, every time I see Tyson, I always think Tek. Always
We
think
from the
Tek.
same tribe. That's my
Well,
brother.
you had a
man.
face tattoo before people were doing face and neck
Hey,
tattoos.
I'm glad you noticed that. I absolutely
trendsetter.
did before it was popular to do.
Right. Like, to get a face tattoo was saying, like, I'm not getting a real a real job. I'm an artist forever.
I'm a rapper for life.
Right,
Or
now we
boxer.
have to be, there's
I
acceptance
got
and
cursed out by
inclusivity.
my mother, who was a devoted minister in the church for getting
Wow.
a face tattoo.
Oh, really?
It's all good. I'm sure she's still proud of you.
We're
Yeah,
talking about
definitely.
Bed-Stuy
Right.
earlier. And it's another question I wanted to ask you, because another thing that was like denoted in the background of hip hop all the time, not in the forefront, is that you and Big had a close relationship.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? That's not really like out there though, like that. Like, did you guys ever do any music together?
Nah, we never got the chance to do any music together. Like, we would be in the car, my man Clep car. Clep is my brother who I went to high school with, who actually introduced me to Big. Who would be Clep, and C's is how I met Big. And we just hit it off from there with my cousin Cookie Head, C's sister Thais. These was the people that we was in a street crowd with.
Okay.
And I think before we even both that we knew each other did music, we was just fucking with each other as homeboys. Like, anywhere I would be in Brooklyn, I don't know, it's just like he attracted me and I attracted him. I would be driving, he would pull up and be like, yo, park your car, get in here. Be on a motorcycle, yo, park the bike, get in the car. But he would never be driving. He's always in the passenger seat. So that was another Gemini brother, man. And I think it was just a lot of the things that I came up in hip hop is wild personal to me. So that's probably another reason why you don't hear a lot about it.
I was gonna say, because like you seem to like those. I mean, Big and Pac are obviously like the two like martyrs of hip hop. I don't know how you want to put it, but like we all get what it is. You know what I'm saying? And you have like personal stories and personal time with both of these men. Like, you know them on an intimate level.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking dope. That's a crazy part of hip hop. But knowing both of them, like, what are the similarities or differences that like on a personal level that you would know?
The similarities, really, they was both good dudes. They was both funny as shit, both of them. And their people attract, like, they attract people to them. They make people want to be around them in their circumference and everything. And they was just genuine. I mean, I never seen or been around one where he was talking about the other one. It was never bad mouthing this one or saying anything like that. And it was just brothers, just, you know what I mean? It's unfortunate what happened, but a lot of times, even in hip hop and other beefs that go on, it's the entourage a lot of times that stir shit up. It's not even the person or the two people that have the beef that keeps it going on. And a lot of times, to squash that beef, all it takes is communication. When there's a lack of communication and doors is closed, you never get to what can have been or what could happen.
Correct.
Like, they just told me Big said I was one of his favorite MCs. So I cried hearing that shit. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's got to be the same thing of like Paul Wall want to do an album with you.
Yeah,
you know
no,
what I'm
it
saying?
is.
He wanted, like, it's
All
the
that.
same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
that's
that
dope shit. Like, because at the end of the day, we're all fans of fucking hip hop.
And at the end of the day, as an artist, like what we was just talking about, you want to be accepted and liked by your peers that you're in the business doing
Yeah.
it with.
It mean the world to me when people give me credit for my rhymes, because that's probably the thing I've spent the most time on in my life. Besides the grind and besides trying to get money to feed myself, feed my family, pay the rent, honestly, probably the thing I've done the most in my life is write rhymes. And I still hold myself to that regard, that I'll take an hour, 5 hours, 2 days, 3 days to write a rhyme before I write a whack one. So when I bump into the people that I really, really respect their pen, and they be telling me like, yo, you one of the illest, I'll be like Cool G Rap. You know, I did a video with G Rap, and the consensus in the car was, yo, G Rap bodied you. And I'm like, that's cool. It's Cool G Rap. He's supposed to. He literally
man.
made up the style that I'm using.
If I
today.
can, yeah, like that's
so-
a dream to
so I
get bodied by Cool.
Yeah, that's come on, because I know I'm gonna come with it. So if you body me, that means you're the illest rapper ever.
Yeah.
So I walk in and I'm like, I said, yo, G, yo, I said, you bodied that shit. I said, the bros in the car was saying you got me. He said, nah, we was equal. And I was just like, damn, thank you. Because, you know, not that I needed to hear that, because I know what I did. You know what I'm saying? I know how I rap. I rap exactly like Cool G Rap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I particularly with that song, he was like, yo, he's like, KGR terminology with no apology. He started doing that. So I just went, KGR terminology with no, I just did the same thing. It's the same shit. You
Right.
feel me? So it was a Spider-Man meme, looking at each other, but with your hero, with the person like
Yeah.
that made up the style. You know, because Pun was my favorite, And
Yeah.
Pun got his style from G-Rap. If you know, G-Rap is like the godfather of that
Yeah,
style.
that style,
So
yeah.
for me to be able to even come close to Cool G-Rap, or where people compare me, or the YouTube comments is arguing who's better, that shit right there is crazy.
Yeah.
That's like you at the
Yeah.
top level with the master. Like you in the fucking final fight with the final boss. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
it's definitely.
What was it like when you finally like got not Static's there, no, because you know him, but Primo's there. Like that's got to be for like an MC.
It took me like 3 years to get the Primo beat. A lot of people never get the Primo
That's
beat.
what I'm. Yeah,
They
that's
fight. They fight their whole life for it. They offer infinite amounts of money and like
Wait, was the Watch How It Go Down beat
the first one.
for you?
It was for Alchemist and Black Poet.
Okay.
And then they did a song on it and they didn't like it.
Mhm.
So Static had went to their studio in 2005 and then he was playing beats and he played that one. And then Preem was like, yo, you think Termanology would like this? And Static was like, what? He like, hell yeah, you want that. And so they called my phone and they would played it for me over the phone like, you want this? I'm like, hell yeah, I want this. And then that was it. It's history.
And
from
were you
there.
just feeling pressure? Like, I gotta.
Nah, it was, first of all, it was crazy. Watch How It Go Down is one of the
Yeah.
craziest beats ever by
amazing.
anybody.
It's a classic
It really
song
is.
too.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
I'll never,
It's out of
I'll never forget the
control.
first time I heard it on the radio.
Yeah.
In the remix, it's out of
It's
control.
insane. That it's just God wanted me to have that. You know what I'm saying?
It's
And he sent
definitely
it
a
through
classic.
Primo. Thank God and Static. And I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful that I stepped up to the plate and wrote those rhymes and we were able to grind behind it and make it a underground classic. And my life changed at that moment. And I've never been the same person of who I was before that song. You know what I'm saying?
It's got to be like just really satisfying though, like when he hears the verse the first time played back and he's bobbing his head and you're like, fuck, I knew that shit.
Nah, that's how I felt when I got out the booth, because Primo was my biggest test. Like when I went to walk in the booth, we got to this is the old D&D, they call it headquarters after he renamed it, and we're walking in the hallway and there's a big HQ before you get in the booth, and he stops me before I go in the door. He goes, you ready? I go, what you mean? He goes, Big, Pac, Nas, all in that booth, you ready?
No pressure.
I said,
Yeah, right?
I said, damn.
No pressure.
And I was like, but he also told me, don't come here trying to read your rhymes. Come with it, memorize.
Oh yeah.
And I have a real memory problem. I'm horrible at it. But it was 80 bars. I don't know
See,
if
I'm
y'all
not
knew
the
that.
only one.
You read your rhymes when you spit?
Every time.
You can read fast, man. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
Right.
Yeah, you
But
can tell that
not
shit.
that day. That day, I had to come with the 80 bars memorized. He told me, don't come here and sound like you reading it. Come here ready so you can give it your all. And it needed to be projected in that manner and at that speed. Because, like, you know, that in the middle, everybody
Yeah.
can't do that. Like, I do that in my sleep because that's just that in the middle. I do it all day. But that rhyme needed to sound like that. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So when I went in there, I had to have that speed ready, the voice ready, the pronunciation ready. And as I'm going, he like, wait, nope, do that over, say that over. So it wasn't as easy as it sounds.
Well, this is the throw.
Sounds like I walked in and spit 80 bars
Right.
with a heavenly halo on me and walked out, but it was a little bit of a process.
And that didn't make you want to change your process from there on out?
It did
And just-
because I used to always double and triple my vocals. And I
Yeah.
go, all right, let me get the ad-lib track. And he goes, nah, a good engineer, you don't need doubles or triples, one layer. A good engineer will mix you right with one layer. And I was like, damn, what am I going to say? Because I would have argued any other
Young
engineer.
grasshopper.
But it was Primo.
Yeah.
So I said, let me see. But then I came out the booth and he played it. And then I felt the euphoria. I felt like, oh my God, this is one of the greatest hip hop pieces. Like
It's one of the greatest things
I just-
that Primo's ever done after Gangstar.
Thank
Like-
you. But exactly. So I came out the booth and then I was like, this is the greatest shit ever. But the process in the booth was tedious because some people would have folded under pressure. Instead, I listened to the master. I'm like, he knows what he's talking about. Let me listen to him. Let me say that line over 15 times until it sounds the right way. You know what I'm saying?
Because you came in with respect too. You looked
Correct.
up to Primo. I mean,
Yeah.
this takes me back talking about like losing music. I mean, Nas, didn't he lose his book to the whole Illmatic, all the lyrics,
That's
on his
what
way
I
to the
heard.
studio with Premier?
That's what
and
I
then,
heard.
And then he had to. He
The
did-
RZA's fucking flood.
oh yeah, the
Yeah,
flood with
yeah. It
It
Inspector
happens
Deck.
all the time. Q-Tip, his house burned down with all his records in it, and it's just, bro, we all go through this shit. If you're great, you'll fall down and come back again.
You're meant to be, right?
We're still waiting for Detox.
Yeah.
Fucking. Well, we got Sean Price on the wall. Obviously, the two of you both.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
My
You
brother.
guys, there's got to be some Sean Price stories.
Right. The
There's a
man
million.
had
Come on.
comedian
There's a million.
Like,
You gotta share. Hip hop heads want Sean Price stories.
I
know
know,
what it
for
is?
days, for days.
All right. I ain't gonna hold you. The thing is, I'm not a good storyteller, so I don't tell stories.
Right.
To me, my voice sounds crazy, so I don't really talk a lot.
Well, what story would you tell?
Express
if you
myself
could?
the way I express it when I'm on the mic, or just life.
Right.
The best Sean Price story I can tell you is like when he didn't want to be bothered with you. Like if you was in a studio recording and everything, and they was just sitting around bullshit or whatever, and he's fed up. His favorite line is, "I'm going to the store to get some Phillies." And that means, if you know, that means he's never coming back. You'll never see him for another 2 days, 2 weeks until the next studio session.
It's like I'm going to get a pack of cigarettes. The whole father thing there.
That's it.
Yeah.
Gone.
That's crazy because he's obviously one of like the iconic, like he's just
funniest dude.
Hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, he is. He tells you the truth in such a way with humor where it might hurt, but he's saying it so jokingly and so pure with you that you don't take it like that.
Like he used to call me Herman. Like for Herman Monster, but Hermanology. Just the funniest shit.
But
like where you come up with that shit, like
so much fun out of it. You like,
we got a sold out show.
Kind of funny.
We got a sold out show, 500 people, Middle East. The Goya release party is me and Sean Price. I don't know if y'all were there that night, but it was like 500 people, sold out. Crowd is packed, and I'm over here like selling merch, signing the autograph, something. And he gets on the mic. He goes, "Herman, where's my man Hermanology? Come up here." And the whole crowd's laughing, and it's like I didn't feel like he was making fun of me, even though he was, because I was my dog, and he's mad funny. It's just like
that's the underhanded, wicked ways of Sean P.
The genius.
He would tool on people like backstage at the Middle East. I think it was that show.
Yeah.
And he was tooling hard on this kid.
Nah,
but he says in a way where like if you're not laughing, you're tooling on yourself right now.
Yeah,
he's so pure with it. He would just have you laughing all day. Like I remember when he first changed his name. Like we didn't get it at first.
What was
because he went to high school with us also, so he was Decepticon.
In the Ruck and Rock days.
and Rock, right? From Helter Skelter. So when he was like, "Yo, I'm going with Sean Price," he was like,
"Wait, but I don't even know why.
That's your name. Why would you do that?" He was like,
"Why did he do it?"
He had his reasons. He was just out there like that. He just gave you all of him. That was him.
It was almost like his style even changed when he went to Sean
from
Price.
The brokest rapper.
It went
alive,
from to like it went to more like a more jokingly like
but
having
the
fun
bars
with it.
was there though.
Oh, no, the bars are always there.
He came into his new like personality.
He found his
like,
niche.
Yeah.
And that's was it. He was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna be my."
He slowed down the
Sean
flow,
Price.
and he started being himself and joking, and the fans connected with that even more.
And for the 2000s, like Monkey Bars is one of the greatest albums of all time.
Yeah.
It's one of the greatest rap albums that have ever come out. Reloaded is my second favorite Smif-N-Wessun album.
And it set the tone for a lot of shit that's going on now with the resurgence of underground, you know what I mean? With the Rock Marcy's and like
100%.
all those guys. So you feel me? It set that tone of like, yo, an independent, you could be like self-sufficient, independent, on your own superstar. By rebranding, it don't matter how long you've been in the game. So I feel like he kind of helped my era. You know
but he's the only one that could do underhanded sarcasm, comedy, and still be thug.
Exactly.
Now they try to do it.
Slap the shit out of you.
Exactly. Now
and his hands was mad big and ashy. And like even his performance, he would do some shit with his fingers, and it was just like you being all looking. Listening, but you're also watching to see what the fuck is going on.
Now, him and Rock told me, like he told me when he was doing an in-store at UGG, he was saying, and I don't know if he was tooling on me after all these years, and I don't get a chance to ask him, did he ever use a hollowed out baked potato skin as his wallet?
Yeah.
Okay, he did. All right.
Sold that on pawn stores.
Okay, all right. So it.
What the fuck?
Pawn stars.
Pawn stars. The show. The original. Like boot camp click when it was like
I said porn.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I had to clear the pawn. It's PAW.
It's a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah, pawn shop.
With the original boot camp click for OGC, Helter Skelter, Smif-N-Wessun, Black Moon, and the Beat Miners. Were you all friends prior to this?
Yeah, it's deeper than rap. We was all family. This wasn't a group that was put together at a record label.
So there was a similar style. Who came up with the whole boot camp moniker and everything like that?
I mean, Buck was the first one to blow up, right?
Buck was Black Moon. Damn. Can I say Smif-N-Wessun did? I guess
Let's go. Talk that shit.
I could really say Smif-N-Wessun did it. Because again, my brother was
the fatigues
was so military influenced that was in my life. So we would do push-ups. We would have we would have, if you came late to studio, you would do 50 push-ups.
That's fire.
If you didn't come around
We
with
gotta bring
enough
that
weed
back.
to smoke,
We gotta
you would
bring
do
that
50
back.
push-ups.
Yeah, he wants it. Like I can't be on
Yeah.
time, so so don't. But I'm remembering. So I used to be on Emerson College Radio,
Yep.
WERS,
Hell yeah.
and we had you guys in the studio. And Buckshot started doing push-ups in the middle of the live mix studio
That's fire.
during the mix.
Yeah.
It was what I totally forgot about that. And that was like 2006.
Yeah,
7.
that was it.
That was whenever you
Man,
guys had the whole
push-ups
like
were-
Mark
yeah.
Echo albums out.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, Mark Echo.
Yeah,
Whole
yeah,
rollout with the merch and all that.
Which I got to ask real quick,
Yeah.
like, how did that come together? Because those 3 albums, the Smif-N-Wessun, the Buckshot, and the Helter Skelter, out with that, like,
That's all. That's Knife Wonder and the Soul Council and them that was working with that.
yeah,
Well, that came from our brother Sean Price. Sean Price and Buck was the first to meet Knife Wonder, and then we all traveled down to North Carolina and was sitting on the floor writing raps and putting the joints together with Crisis, Knife Wonder, and that was it.
but for the imagery, because it was all like, was that who did all that
I think that
artwork?
was all like I got to salute Drew High. He came up with a lot of that stuff too.
Legend.
So
yeah, so
we,
dope.
Mastermind.
we was all together putting that together. So that's why it's the 3 separate album covers.
And what
like
was
that.
Shucky Ducky's place in all of this? Did I know I said that like as
That's
white
my
as
man.
I possibly could?
Nah, that's my man. Shout out to Shucky Ducky,
Shucky
man.
is the ultimate, man.
That's my boy. I love Shucky, man. He was with me on my
Shucky-
first tour too.
Yeah,
Sean
Shucky
Price-
position
with Sean
is
Price.
whatever he wants to be. Whatever
Okay.
he wants to do.
At one point, it
But
was
his
at-
art is so
He's
pure.
a
you have to love
multi-dimensional
Shucky.
role
Yeah,
player
yeah.
for the team.
At one
Yeah.
point, it was admonishing me backstage at the Middle East, asking if I'm ever going to grow up, saying I'm too old for my antics.
He's not wrong.
I was gonna say
He'll
he's still
put you
I've
in
known you
place
for a long
also.
time.
Right, right.
I respect the
Still
fact you don't change.
Shucky is
You,
that
you
dude.
toned it down a little though.
Ill Bill told me to never
we're
change.
working on it. We're
You-
working
Matter
He's
of fact,
working on me.
You almost got beat up a few times
Yeah,
back in the days.
definitely.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
good
I
now.
gotta say,
Somehow I
goodwill of
survived. Yeah, you
Shucky
did
Ducky.
good.
He was in a motorcycle accident.
Oh, word?
But
Yeah.
he's getting better now.
Give
He got
us
a
one of
cast
the
on
times
his
that he
foot.
almost got beat up.
Well, we had a member in our group called Ghetto. I mean, his name was his name.
Yep.
And just sometimes he would just really ask these really weird questions that didn't really like translate well to ghetto people.
Yeah.
And so my man's like, yo, I'm about to smack the shit. What the fuck's up with that? I said, nah, chill, man. We're on 88.9. We can't get banned.
Thank you for protecting
I
me.
got you, bro. I
And
got
meanwhile,
you.
I don't know if you
Even
know
if it
this,
was for
but he's the
89.
only radio
Yeah.
DJ in Boston that plays underground hip hop.
Yeah.
It's the only one station.
Yeah.
He's the DJ.
Nah, he
Right,
was a
right,
big
right.
supporter of
Yeah,
us.
yeah,
I think we came to the station a couple
Yeah,
of
yeah, because I loved. I
Yeah.
told you,
Yeah.
suburbs
We
of
came a couple
Connecticut.
of times.
We us white people, we loved boot
Yeah,
camp
right.
click.
You know what it
And-
was though, to bring it back to 88.9, we had live music week every year.
Yeah.
And I started even before you. I started
Right.
going up there in 01. When were you up there?
And I had just moved from Michigan in 01.
So what year did
So
you
I
go
wasn't
up there?
until 2004 or 5.
I was
Exactly.
4,
So by the time I was you came, I was already an
Yeah,
OG.
you were the OG.
That's what
right?
I'm saying.
I had to get permission from
Pardon.
him to go in there and do
but
my show.
I was also the limit was 4 people, and I would bring 15
yeah.
every time.
Oh.
And we were straight off the block, stick up kid.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
bringing
yeah.
all my goons with me, so it was a bit much for the staff.
Yeah, that's why they
But-
finally got rid of the hip hop show.
I know, but.
that and JR Writers crew, the Dipset crew, and probably you guys.
But shit
got
happens.
shut
But
down.
we never did nothing. We never got in trouble. It's just that we rolled deep and it was intimidating.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the thing. That's the only thing that was like, it was so hip hop back then that you would have all these crews coming in and out and going up there and freestyling live. Nobody could swear, and we all respectful. We went up there. We tried not to swear. So it was just hip hop was alive in
I
that
know.
moment.
I look back
No,
now and I'm
but
like,
that's why I respect you so much, because you were really there when we were doing it, when we were coming up.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
so lucky.
That was like banging on the window and
All
like,
that, yo.
and threatening them to get your record played. Like
Yeah,
that's how I got
that's
my record
what they
played.
did. Yeah.
that's
Oh,
why-
you part of they?
yeah, he
I
was that one.
I was in a
Yeah.
group called AWOL. We used to
Okay.
do shows all the
No,
time.
I remember
together.
you now.
And we used to open up for you guys all the time too. Every
Yeah.
time you guys came to Boston, we'd open up for you because we'd bring a huge crowd with us and shit like
Right.
that. But we
Right.
opened up for you guys like almost every time you guys came through.
Yeah.
And we just shot the shows with you
Legendary.
a lot.
No, I
Yeah, a
remember
lot.
now.
Knox Beats is
even the flyers, I would see AWOL on the flyers.
Yeah.
All
We
them
got 'em- we
shits.
still got 'em up
Middle
there.
East, the Bills
Right up
Bar,
there. Still up there.
Access.
Actually, you're probably on that flyer.
That's fire.
He's probably on. He's yeah, he is. He's in the window.
Remember-
Yo, let me see that. Take it off the
You
wall.
remember House of Blues before it was House of Blues? It was. We had Avalon, Access, Bills Bar, like all that shit. Oh shit! Let me see.
Look
Wow.
at that right there.
Oh shit! Look at that, Young Term with the Primo shirt.
that
Yep.
shit.
Yeah, I remember that. This is a good one. Hip Hop Fest. So 2006. This was right when Watch How I Go Down came out. So that was like that was lit.
Yeah, we actually headlined that.
That's fire. I love that.
The thing, it was dope. We were out there for a while.
Nah, that's dope, man.
Yeah,
that's
we were
beautiful.
there for a little bit. Fucking.
When everybody's crews were menacing because we were all younger and out of control. And at that time, here's the fucked up thing. At that time, I was like, this is great, but damn, I wasn't around in the 90s. I missed it. And now I'm like, damn, I miss those times in the 2000s, mid-2000s. I'm like, those were the classic times.
Dog, it's all about enjoying the moment.
I know.
There you
Now.
go.
Because kids will be like telling me that like albums like Reloaded was what they grew up and like got, that was an introduction to Smif-N-Wessun.
Right.
And it's
right.
like, you don't think that at the time. It's just so wild.
Are you getting Black Trump getting played again?
Right, I was going to say, we got White Trump for
Trump.
round 2 somehow.
It has to be getting played again, right?
I mean, yeah, Black Trump gets a lot of call for at the shows we do.
But I remember you guys being at a show saying you're not doing it.
I didn't say that.
I think Steele did.
Well, I know I didn't say it.
All right, so who did you vote for?
So we're talking about like rebranding and everything. You had to rebrand, big
Yes.
time, obviously. Obviously, you guys were out for a while, underground New York hip hop group. You guys eventually sell like around 300,000, 400,000 copies of The Shining. That's all of a
It
sudden
was 500,000.
Well, at the time though, when the lawsuit came out, you guys weren't there yet. But like, you think that's what brought their attention to you? Because that's kind of fucked up. How did that happen? Like, where were you?
I have no idea how it happened.
Yeah.
But
How I think it happened was, yes, because the lawsuit came not even a full year after we dropped. I want to say maybe 6-7 months after it. But I think it was a young white kid who was into hip hop and heard the music and heard the records and heard us saying Smif-N-Wessun, because you couldn't pronounce it as that.
Yep.
And took it back to one of his elders, granddad or great granddad, who's probably was in the company, and was like, yeah, listen to this hip hop, and they probably didn't enjoy hip hop as much as he did, and they heard the name, was like, nah, we can't have this shit.
Yep.
And then you changed to Cocoa Brothers.
And we had a whole new fan.
What was it, Priority that told you that?
Where did the name Cocoa Brothers come from?
Well, Cocoa Brothers came from because Smif-N-Wessun used to supply all of chocolate weed.
Okay, all right.
So in all the studio sessions, we would come with the black weed and chocolate, and I'm dark skinned, and they would be like, it's the Cocoa Brothers. So that's we rolled with that.
And then you ran into another issue because you guys dropped Super Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And then the Mario Brothers guys, don't they come after you too?
Nah, they didn't really.
I'll pull out my vinyl right here. I'll pull out my Super Brooklyn
On cue?
vinyl. Come on now.
Nah, they didn't
we
really
didn't
come
plan
at
that.
us.
I didn't
No
plan
idea
that.
he had that. I had no.
I seen him pull a Shining out, but then he tucked
Wait,
it back.
is this because you guys weren't allowed to put it out officially? Is this even official, or do I gotta hide it again and be like,
Nah,
it's a bootleg?
this is the official.
Yeah, that was the
They
official.
went after the DJ. I think it was 88, 78, something like that. Yeah, 88, 78. They didn't officially come after us.
Yeah.
But this was a huge record too.
Funny story about this record, right? I bought this record because I always had turntables since I was a kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
I bought this record, and Static came over my crib. He's like, damn, I don't got this. Let me use it. I said, all right, no problem. Go ahead, use it. He never gave it back to the day.
It's actually that one right there.
This actual
Yeah,
record.
this is it. I got it.
Somehow y'all got it.
This was
You'd be
when
surprised you get 1,000.
Steel was rocking on rollerblades. I was like, my guy, what the fuck is you on rollerblades? Yeah,
Is he on rollerblades in the back of that album?
Yeah, he had rollerblades in this whole video. Hell yeah! Now, you can't see it in the back of the album, but at this video, yes, he definitely was on rollerblades.
and I heard that song was the shit that got you put on with Raucus. Is that right? Or
Raucus?
yeah.
Yep. When
That's
we
dope.
came out with that, I think Raucus was really just getting started. They was building up their roster.
That's fire.
And yeah.
Man, you got to like,
Yeah,
you got to then be there
all of
for
it.
like the heyday of underground hip hop at the biggest record label ever.
I mean, that's what they say about it, but I mean, every generation of music has that heyday. It's just reinventing itself. Man.
So we got this album right here. When's it coming out?
December 6th.
December 6th, Technology, and that's going to be found on all platforms?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yep. You can pre-order it right now on iTunes. You can pre-save it on Spotify, or you could buy the CD or the vinyl. Very limited, all autographed by us. So yeah, man, get that.
And we didn't touch on it, but real quick, where can
Yeah.
they buy 100 Ways to Be a Better Dad? Good Dad Gang, which is an amazing
Yeah.
thing that you
Thank
do.
you, bro.
Dad Gang.
I don't know if you. I know you got to go. If you want to take a minute,
Yeah,
to explain
no.
what Good Dad Gang is right before we take
No, I
off.
got a couple minutes. So yeah, Good Dad Gang is a movement that I started in 2014, and it was just something that I started to really, motivate dads to be in their kids' life, and give informations to dads who might need it. And
Man, has that shit caught on in the hip hop community? I've been in New York
Yeah.
and people are like, "Good Dad Gang started in Boston." I'm like,
yeah, no, it's true.
I'm like,
It
it
did.
really took off.
Started in Lawrence, Mass in 2014, and I trademarked it. Thank God I did, because we've had a lot of people try to steal it and remix it and stuff like that. But anyways, Good Dad Gang is a household name. We got over 100 tattoos. We got collabos with Gangstar. We got collabos with Diamond. We got our own sneakers. First fatherhood sneaker ever. First Father's Day sneaker
What is
ever.
that, the
Ewing.
Ewing?
Shout
Yeah,
out to
Southern
Patrick
Ewing, yeah.
Ewing. Cambridge, you know what it is. And then now we moved on to doing books, man. So 100 Ways to Be a Better Dad. It's a little bit of everything in here. When I started doing research for the book, it took me like 4 years. And I kept noticing that like all the research I was finding was like more ways to help like moms when expecting, things of that nature. It wasn't like directly speaking to the problems of the father. Like, okay, yo, you're the books that I read was like, you're married in a house with your kids, and maybe this is how you could be the best dad in that capacity. I never read any books that was like, you're a weekend dad, you only see your kid on Sunday. How do you be a real dad when they just took away all your rights to being a real dad? They just took your kid out of your household.
Yeah.
And the judge told you that you have to be a father now 1 day a week, but you have the pressure of raising a child when they're not letting you raise a
Insane.
child. So there's things like that in the book. There's things like financial literacy. There's things about your diet. There's things about trying to co-parent and get along. Controlling your anger and your temper, your reactions. I'll give you an example. One year it was my birthday. I was supposed to see my daughter, and I had to go to Switzerland the next day. So it was my only time I could see her. So on my birthday. So my baby mom was supposed to bring the daughter at the time, and she just called me like, sorry, can't bring her. So now my birthday is ruined. I gotta stop what I'm doing, stop packing, running late, drive to another city just to see my kid on my birthday, sitting on the stoop because I can't go in the house, hugging the kid, basically drive away crying just to, for whatever reason, I'm not gonna assume why, but just ruin my day, right? And this happens to fathers every single day of the week. So what I try to do in the book was give examples like that and say, hey, don't jump out the window, don't ruin your whole relationship with your kid, or throw away everything you work for because you're fighting for what you think is right, or you're losing your temper. And so this book has helped a lot of people. It's circulating in the jails right now. It's on Amazon. You can buy it on Amazon, or you can get it on gooddadgang.com. It's people going to court that read this book in their visitation rights room. So this book is really deep. And I suggest if you want to be a better dad, or anybody who has a kid, buy it for them or suggest it to them, because it's really needed for sure.
I definitely want to give you like props and flowers, whatever you want to say for that, because there's not a lot of there is a lot of positivity in hip hop, but from the outside looking at hip hop, people don't see the positivity in hip hop. Yeah. And that right there is a shining beacon of light. Like there's no,
thank you, man.
You cannot take away the positivity of that, no matter how the fuck you try to twist
Facts.
it. You know what I'm saying? So that's a dope thing to go in, being a leader in your community, and taking the responsibility of being a leader and putting something like that out to help other people. In my idea, it's a big deal.
Thank you. And we do the backpack giveaways. We had our 10th annual.
Yep.
I just got an award from the mayor's office and all that. It's a great thing. So, I'm excited, man. I think that there's big things to come with Good Dad Gang. We're going to keep helping the community, keep helping kids, keep helping people be better co-parents, all that good stuff, because it is, even though they look at hip-hop, because rappers get killed all the time and go to jail, and there's drugs and violence involved in that, violence and substance abuse has existed way before hip-hop and will exist way after. So, we just trying to do something positive out here.
I agree. So to get you guys out of here, if you want to look in this camera, tell everybody where they can find you, all that. You got shows coming up, everything.
Yeah. First of all, shout out to Nim K, my new artist. Her album is coming soon. Shout out my brother Pat. Melk stay in the building. Termanology, man. Follow me everywhere at Termanology ST. Book is out right now. Technology, December 6th. Let's go.
Wherever you see me at, that's where I'm at. Social media,
Big Dookie Podcast.
You see us, Smif-N-Wessun, the real Smif-N-Wessun. Technology, December 6th. Go get it.
Van, what do you want to tell these guys?
Like and subscribe.
Marty forever. Sense lives. Fuck Kurt Schilling. Peace.